Andy, you want to tee us up here or what?
Yes, this is one that I'm excited about. I know who would win this fight, as I always do. This one is who would win of the week this week. We've got Wolverine, Logan, X-Men. He's the guy, Hugh Jackman style, versus Mike Tyson. This is Prime Tyson. It doesn't even have to be Prime Tyson, first of all, but I'm going to say this is Prime Tyson with a fistful of thumbtacks. Like, he's got thumbtacks in his hands, Mike Tyson, going up against Wolverine. Matthew, what do you think about this one right off the bat?
Right off the bat, here's the thing, and I think that this is where it's going to get interesting, is the difference between Wolverine's claws versus, like, the practical use of the claws versus the use of the thumbtack, right? Wolverine, I feel, is going to be able to, I mean, obviously control himself better, because when you have thumbtacks in your fist, you're stuck in a fist the whole time, or else you're not going to be able to.
He's a boxer, though. How is that against him?
Okay, I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, Wolverine has the ability to cross a line if he wants to into more of like an MMA style fight.
You might like
and
this
also,
fact.
Okay, go ahead.
You might like this fact. I had to look it up. I was just thinking, how tall is Mike Tyson? How tall is Wolverine?
Wolverine. Yep, here we go.
Wolverine is 5'3".
Oh no!
Yep. That's a thing.
He weighs 300 pounds, but he weighs 300 pounds. And then Mike Tyson is he's 5'10". He weighs 240.
I like the height difference stat. I'm big on the height difference.
Yeah.
That's 7 inches. That makes up a lot of ground. The weight doesn't really bother me. What I think, but this is back to what I'm saying is, like, think about if you had thumbtacks in your knuckles. They're not really extending, like, as far as Wolverine's claws do either. And you do still have control over your fists from a punching perspective, but you're losing, like, a little bit of, like, your, I don't know. I mean, Wolverine, it's an extension of his body rather than an attachment.
Let's say that Mike Tyson's got, like, the tacks sticking out of, like, he's got mitts on, and they're, like, sticking out of the mitts.
He's got boxing gloves, or like, not, or like, but maybe they're not, like, soft, like, we'll make them, like, almost, maybe they're, like, somehow, like, attached to his hand with, like, a glove of some sort.
Right. He's got a thumbtack glove on, one of those.
Okay, thumbtack glove makes it a little different. I still think that my initial thought was that the claws were going to be a big difference, but the height difference kind of takes that away, right? Because you don't need the longer claws since he's got longer arms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is a tough one to break down. I think that it depends on how good of a fighter you really think Wolverine is. Like, do you think he can compete with, like, one of, like, the boxing? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, the fighting style is so different, I mean, Wolverine's like, he's an animal. Like, he's tearing and shredding and stuff like that. Mike Tyson, I think, has the proficiency that comes with the boxer's training, as well as, obviously, that guy can get rowdy when he needs to, biting people's, ears off and shit like that.
Yeah.
But
doesn't Wolverine, like, heal? Doesn't he,
Yes.
He's got, that's another thing.
Wolverine does heal. But Mike Tyson is quick. I feel like he can catch Wolverine and, like, be able to get him, kind of, take the healing factor out of it, like, just get him real quick. Like, Mike Tyson right now his hands are insanely fast. Prime Tyson, even more so.
What do you think, Berkey? Before I really start going off, what do you think?
This is a tough call. The healing thing is it makes me think, Wolverine's. Yeah, it's just, endurance, it's just unfair. But, let's say it lasts, however many rounds there are, is Mike Tyson going to be able to have a better boxing score? Like, are we looking for knockout? Are we looking for score? Like, technical proficiency in boxing? Because then I think Tyson wins. I think Tyson wins in that.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. This is definitely not a regulation boxing match. This is just a brawl between two.
This is virtually a fight to the death, and because of that, there's just, and I'm going against myself here. You know, the height difference is big to me, but there's just no way that Wolverine loses this fight. He's literally part animal. He's got claws attached to his hands. His body heals itself. Like, what is Mike Tyson? Like, I mean, this is the only thing I can think of is Mike Tyson gets him clean with the first punch, knocks him out, and then stands over his body and just murders the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But unless Mike Tyson is able to like knock Wolverine out, and I don't think Wolverine's getting knocked out easily, and it would have to be quick. I think that Wolverine's just ravaging him.
5'3", 300 pounds. That's stocky.
Yeah. Well, his skeleton's
I think
made
you
out
can
of
take
metal.
a punch at 5'3", 300.
His whole skeleton.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, isn't it? He's like metal.
That's another
pretty
tough
much,
thing.
isn't he? Yeah. Andy, you're going to stand here and tell me that Mike Tyson wins this fight, aren't you? You're going to sit across the screen and look me in the eyes, and you're going to sit here and tell me that Mike Tyson wins this fight. I didn't even, we came up with this, like, this one was like, we just came up with this. I pretty much like Andrew in this podcast, I did no research coming into this about this fight. And now that it's occurring to me, all the things that Wolverine has on his side, I can't even believe that this is almost like flirting with like Shrek versus Seven Dwarfs territory. Like, how is Mike Tyson going to win this fight? It's going to be a blowout.
Because Mike Tyson
what I think
a fighter. Like, in and out.
Wolverine's like virtually invincible.
Yeah, but not when he's going up against Mike Tyson.
I don't know if Mike Tyson would win this fight with a gun. I don't know if Mike Tyson would win this fight with a gun.
I don't think he would with a gun. But I think if they're just like punching each other, I think Mike Tyson's got a great shot at this. And I don't know necessarily.
The thumbtacks aren't enough.
The thumbtacks are not enough to inflict pain on Wolverine. What do they do? A thumbtack, like it wouldn't even. Honestly, if you punched me with a thumbtack, like I would still be okay.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. The thumbtack.
I just got a text. I just got a text from my roommate saying there's no way Andy thinks Mike Tyson is going to win. That's wild. That's a live text that just came across my screen while we're recording.
Fill Mike Tyson's gloves with cement. Now, I don't know if you ever heard about that, but that's something they boxers I guess used to do.
You can't do anymore.
They can fill like quick concrete. Yeah. And that would be fun.
If you put, all right, here's how we make it fair. You put Quickcrete in Mike Tyson's gloves, and then inside of the Quickcrete, you lay like 2.5-inch like deck screws.
Ooh.
Yeah. And even then, I still think that Wolverine.
No, especially at that point, there's no way Tyson doesn't take it then. Here's the thing. I think
because think about how tired Mike Tyson's hands would get.
Just imagine how slow the punches would be.
Yeah.
They could just be like
but
that. Like
Mike Tyson's not a normal person throwing these punches, though. Mike Tyson's not a normal person throwing these punches. It's Mike Tyson throwing these punches, okay? That counteracts all of that stuff. So especially if you give him all that, there's no way he loses, I think. I think he's just got the... Look, I mean, Mike Tyson...
I would give, like, an MMA fighter a better chance with like, knives in their hands than I would a boxer, I think, now that I think about it. Because Wolverine is cat-like, right? Like, he's going to get you on the ground and he's going to rip you apart. Like, you have to have some ability to, like... You know what I mean?
I don't know if he's going to take you to ground, but...
Wolverine's going to fuck Mike Tyson up.
I don't know. I think that maybe the... Now, obviously, you guys know more about concussions than I do.
They're a myth.
Right. But the brain's a delicate instrument. And I think that potentially, in this case, facing an opponent like Mike Tyson, that metal skull might be a little bit of a disadvantage. Because if Tyson gets Wolverine quick enough in the head,
No.
and Wolverine's brain hits that skull, his brain's not invincible. Okay, he can heal or whatever, and he's got that.
Okay,
a
but
metal
imagine Mike
skeleton,
Tyson.
but his brain hits that
Imagine
skull.
Mike Tyson punching that metal skull.
Yeah,
If Mike doesn't have the cement-filled gloves, that skull's breaking his hand, and the thumbtacks aren't even doing a fucking thing. This
okay,
fight's over
we're moving
before
past
it
the
started, Andy.
thumbtacks. The thumbtacks is a fun idea.
There's no
It's obviously
way.
not
Then you have
feasible.
Wolverine, literally a half metal, cat that was designed to kill, mixed with a strong man, fighting just a regular boxer. Then, if the thumbtacks have
He's
nothing
not
to do with it,
just a
And
regular
guess what?
boxer, though. He's Mike Tyson.
Okay, I know, but he's just a boxer. Wolverine is a superhero.
Just a boxer. That's funny.
I don't think you're giving him enough credit, honestly.
You're underestimating how bad Wolverine's gonna fuck up a human in this ring.
But I think Mike Tyson doesn't care how badly he gets fucked up.
Superheroes were designed to fight you know what I mean? They don't fight regular everyday people.
He's not a regular everyday
That would be
person.
no problem.
He's Mike
Think
Tyson.
about how
Wolverine
easy it is.
one-on-one.
Think about how easy it is for Spider-Man to fight everyday crime.
Okay.
He literally shoots Batman. They literally walk in like Batman fucking jumps down in the middle of a drug trade, right? There's guns being traded for drugs. It takes him under 45 seconds to zip tie
Okay.
every criminal to
Here's
each
the
other and
thing.
leave them there.
If Batman's got a good chance against Wolverine, Mike Tyson's, without a doubt, got a good chance against Wolverine.
Oh, man.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Batman has a combination of absolutely insane technological whatever, you know what I mean, everything he wears from head to toe and everything he uses is designed by the best of the best, whatever. And he's also, I still think he would actually probably lose to Wolverine because it's proven that he doesn't do well against dogs.
I think Wolverine would beat Batman.
Yeah, I do too.
Honorable mention. Honorable
Can Mike
mention.
Tyson
and I
beat
think-
Batman?
I think
Mike
that
Tyson
Mike Tyson.
beat Batman,
Okay, here's the thing: if Batman
Mike Tyson with a bunch of thumbtacks versus the Dark Knight.
if he's fighting Batman, he loses. If he's fighting Bruce Wayne, he wins.
That's so dumb. That's so stupid.
I can
No,
agree with
but
that.
it's true
I
because if Batman has his Batman suit on, he's winning that fight. But if he's just and even then, it's actually still close because obviously he's a very well-trained fighter.
Mhm.
I don't even know if he beats Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he did climb out of the gulag in what's it called?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole
Climbed out of the
different. That's a
gulag.
whole
It's like
different
a,
type
you know-
of fighting, though. It's a whole different type of fighting. If you're
I think
talking,
all this
but
goes
that-
to
look,
prove, though, is that Wolverine
Floyd
would
beat
kick Mike
McGregor.
Tyson's
Floyd
ass.
beat McGregor. Tyson could
in a
beat
boxing
Batman.
match. But we didn't say this was a straight up boxing match. In fact, we said the exact opposite.
You're
You
right.
said that it
You're
wasn't
right.
just a straight up boxing match.
Yeah.
Boxing match. Tyson's gonna win, and if he makes it to the end, Tyson's gonna win.
Well,
on just technical proficiency.
What? Oh, okay. But what if Wolverine still has his claws, though? He would only really need to land one punch, and Tyson would be dead.
Yeah, but if Tyson's
No.
got the quick creep gloves, maybe he's
Yeah,
deflecting
yeah.
some of these shots.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
don't know.
different possibilities we can get into.
Quick
But
creep
honestly,
gloves.
there's just no way that Mike Tyson wins a fight against Wolverine
I don't
Yeah.
know.
unless you really get down to the nitty gritty with
Right.
rules and specifics.
Right.
And that's not what who would win of the week is.
That's up for
Therefore,
debate.
the winner of this fight, as always, I am correct. It sounds like Samuel is on my side, but let's lock in our answers. I'm going Wolverine.
Yeah, I
Fergie?
mean, if it's gonna be to the death, I think I gotta go to Wolverine. There's just too many things in his way, and even one other thing I
We still.
thought of is
Yeah, go ahead.
his claws aren't even made of metal. They're like made of some fictional metal. They're like made of like adamantite or something like that. They're gonna cut right through
bleeds too. Like, doesn't he bleed like a like substance?
Yeah. No, he just bleeds blood.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, the adamantite claws. That'll do it.
I hear you. Maybe I'm in the wrong on this one, but I'm going to give Tyson the fighting chance.
Maybe you're in the wrong. I don't even like the way you said that because it makes me know. This is what I've been trying to say for months, is that I know that he's not winning that fight. There's no reason he wins that fight. And you're still
Look, I don't know. I think that I think that he's got a shot. That's all I'm saying. I just think that he's got a shot. I just don't think you guys are giving him enough credit, honestly. Look, you make a lot of good points. Wolverine is a superhero. You know, he deals with that sort of those supervillains.
I guess you could always make the argument, the David versus Goliath argument, though. There's always a chance. That's why the fight happens.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you bumped up,
you're telling me that if You're telling me, Andy, that if somebody held a gun to your head and said, you have to pick the winner of this fight correctly, Mike Tyson or Wolverine, you have to pick this correct. If you pick the right winner, you live. If the person you picked loses, you die. You're picking Mike Tyson.
In a scenario where my life is on the line, where my life is on the line.
Yeah, your life is on the line. You have to pick right. Don't even just say that. Answer the question. Lose all your credibility. We'll call it in, and we'll move on. Absolutely.
This is not taking away any of my credibility. If my life is on the line, and it's the kind of fight,
your credibility,
and it's the kind of fight that we described. Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? I can't risk my life on it. I would put money on Tyson, but I would not put my life on the line for Tyson.
Oh, okay.
God, Andy, you just ruined the integrity of who would win of the week. The point is to pick who you think would win. If life on the line, you're picking Wolverine. You're not picking Tyson just because he's got a juicy little money line. This isn't a gambling ring. This is a fun
I like the odds on Tyson.
Because you like the payout.
He likes the odds on Tyson. He looks at the Tyson odds and goes, good. Like this is a steal.
He's like, I can get Tyson at plus 1,700. Yeah, no shit, because you're gonna get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if we bumped up Tyson to having superpowers, like I don't know, like whatever's superpower you wanted to give Tyson.
If we could counter it with the superpower for Tyson, it's going to be a good fight. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Andy just wanted to throw little thumbtacks in his hands.
Yeah. And, look, that's a funny thing to picture in your head. So I stand by that 100%.
No, it's fair. It was a good who would win of the week. Good debate. But so we've locked in our answers. Even though Andrews is just there's no credibility. Stop the count right now. We'll put it on social media. Everybody's gonna. It might be honestly. This might be our first ever 100 to 0 social media poll of there's nobody in the world that's gonna be crazy enough to vote for Mike.
Yeah.
But and I wouldn't even.
Listen. I'm not gonna apologize for being a dreamer. I'm not gonna apologize for believing in something. Okay.
But you don't believe in something because if your life was on the line, you would switch your answer. So you don't believe in something. You're creating false hope for the underdogs of the world.
And you know what? Maybe that's all they need is somebody to believe in them that extra bit and change the course of history. I don't know.
This is swaying me.
I guess only time will tell. Oh, fuck, Berkey, shut the fuck up, you little weirdo. See, this is no. The whole bit of week segment is over.
I like the dark horse. That's it.
Just as the winds are changing, it gets locked
over.
Down.
We locked in our answers. It's going to social media. Berkey, you're making the right decision. You know that. You're just now you're getting too philosophical. You spent too much time listening to Shannon.
Do it for the kids.
It's just like whenever you watch. it's just like if you watch the Karate Kid, like deep down, like you root for the bad guy. I'm rooting for Johnny in that movie, like Ralph Macchio. He's a bad dude. Like, I'm rooting for Johnny.
You're rooting for Johnny.
This is a lot of people.
You're
A lot of
sweep
people
the
have
leg?
this opinion. Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to see him.
yeah,
You want to see him in
sweep the
fleek
leg.
pain. You want the winner to win. When I watch Karate Kid, I don't necessarily think that, but I do agree that I often have that mindset. Like, dude, he's already in pain. Like, he's already got a bum knee. Like, fuck that kid up. Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, finish it off. Like, don't make this like some sob story. Like, do the job that you came here to do. Win that title, and then
make it realistic. Like, it may, like, you know what I mean? Be realistic about, if we're being realistic about life.
There are stories
Ralph
of
Macchio does not win.
It's like that thing when the mother lifts up a car that like is trapping their baby. You know what I mean? Like when you pin somebody, when somebody's got their back in the corner, that's when it's their time to shine. That's when they got nothing to lose. That's when everything is coming out of them. That's when miracles happen, baby. That's when people achieve the things that we do not conceive as possible in everyday life.
So I agree with you, Andy, that when people are up against a tough situation, they can do incredible things. But you want to know who else can do that? Superheroes. You see how many times in superhero movies superheroes are dead to rights, and they come out of nowhere with some crazy shit. So even if Tyson found a second gear and all of a sudden started taking advantage, you don't think Wolverine then finds a second gear and just fucking rips right through his body?
It's a fair point. I mean, it all depends on the motivation, I think, All
right. Well, that conversation's over with. Everybody knows the true answer, honestly. Even the one man who claims he I really have a problem with the integrity of this game now that like I put you in a corner and that was your answer. I don't like that at all. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments.
You know what?
But,
maybe we will, because I'm definitely like that's who I want to win, and I'm figuring out how they could.
It's not who you want to win.
I know. That's the issue. That's not necessarily the game.
Who you want to win of the week would be funny.
We can mix in some who do you want to win. Then you can get really creative.
That'd be good.
But that's part of the game for me is figuring out like how.
Yeah,
if they could.
No, I agree. I often because there's a lot of them that are so close.
Recount the kids next door votes.
Dude, we're not even getting into this. I already shit on you once tonight. I don't need to put you down in the dump.
Son of a bitch.